Peace, greetings, everyone. My name is Ani Zonneveld, and with my co-creator Shalina Tareen, we have created this inclusive Islam curriculum rooted in human rights for children ages 4 to 7. I'm smiling because I'm really happy with the product and for what it can offer children and for future generations. So why did we create this curriculum? In the 15 years that I've been working in human rights, I've seen a lot of oppression, sadness, and hopelessness. These are the products of a society or family environment that is unjust and oppressive. How can we live a peaceful and fulfilling life if we don't have peace in our hearts? How can we manifest peacefulness in our day-to-day lives, in our interactions with others, if we just don't have it in us? Peace comes from respect and dignity in how we treat others and all of God's creations, including the environment. It is only from there that we can develop a functional and a flourishing society. Our curriculum teaches children these very complex philosophical concepts of peace, respect, belief, critical thinking, yes, your right to think and express freely, pluralism, equality, and what your child can do to make a difference in this world. We will teach a liberation theology of Islam rather than the oppressive kind. What this curriculum isn't is the rituals of prayer or memorization of verses. This curriculum is also designed for children with parents of mixed heritage and religion. If you are a Muslim parent married to a non-Muslim, where can you send your child for an Islamic education that respects the non-Muslim parent's religion? With Shalina's expertise in child development, we have created a curriculum that utilizes the science of whole child education. That is their social, emotional, physical, mental, and identity development. Through the various teaching methods with storytelling, book readings, including from non-Muslim authors, poetry, and my favorite, lots of music, we are sure your child will thoroughly enjoy this Islamic curriculum. What we want is to lay down the foundation for your child for a life that is meaningful, peaceful, happy, and most importantly, purposeful. So do join us. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Shalina Tareen and I'm an early childhood educator and director. It is such an honor to have created this curriculum with Ani Zonneveld. When creating content for this curriculum, the focus was to keep the whole child approach at the forefront. This is where children are developing the broader life skills, such as their social and emotional, cognitive, physical and mental, and self-identity development. To do this, we added lots of books and poetry, fun art activities, science, and music and movement. These are mediums that children best connect with. We know that children are naturally curious and we want them to explore, ask questions, and think critically about all this new information they've received, and to think how are they going to do things differently and what changes they are going to make. That is the core of this curriculum. We also want to make sure that the children are having fun as they learn, and when they log off the computer one day, they take that information back to their family at dinner and discuss and talk about it, sing the songs, recite the poetry, and dance to the music. We want them to be excited to log on the next day. As they learn, they're also building character and making conscious choices about all the positive changes they're going to make in this world as they navigate through this journey of learning about their Muslim identity. We hope that you and your children together enjoy learning through this curriculum.
Now, why did we create such a curriculum? We are two mothers in the state of California, and we are just really sick and tired of the state of the Muslim population, whether it be here in the United States or in our home countries or wherever in the world. There are a lot of oppression and sadness and trauma in the name of Islam. For me personally, I've been working in human rights in the context of Islam for 15 years. And it is incredible how Islam and Sharia law is being used to abuse human beings and the environment and animals. So, this effort of creating this inclusive Islam curriculum is an effort that we hope you will value. We want our children to grow up to be proud to be Muslim, to have a Muslim identity that is rooted in inclusivity and a loving and compassionate Islam, one that cares for all human beings and all of God's creations, one that is respectful equally of all religions. We also recognize there are a lot of American parents, Muslims, in the West in particular, who are now marrying outside the faith. So where do your children of mixed faith heritage go for an Islam that is inclusive of all religions? To the mosque? So there is such a demand for and a need for such a curriculum, regardless if you're a mosque goer or not, whether you are in a mixed faith marriage or not, whether you are in a same-sex marriage or not. We want to create children for them to raise up into good human beings, whatever religion they may be. And in our particular context, we want to educate them into an Islam that is really rooted in social justice. So as parents, I've been speaking to a lot of parents in the process of creating this curriculum, and it's very interesting how some of the concepts that we are discussing in our 10 lessons are alien to the parents themselves, born raised Muslims. So I do think personally that it is important that you actually go through the lessons with your children, or you as a teacher go through them with the student. And we hope that you will learn a lot for yourself, and also to share and have that conversation with your child. It would be an incredibly bonding experience, not just between you and your child, but also between you and your partner, whether he, she is a Muslim or not. So I will go through these different units and explain to you the concepts so that you as a teacher, as a parent, will understand what are the issues we will be dealing with and how we go into it. One thing that I will tell you, it has been very challenging for me, raised traditionally as a Sunni, but who identifies as just as a Muslim, is how inclusive and how difficult it is actually to be inclusive. It is actually easy to be inclusive of other faith traditions, because when you talk about, Muslims say Assalamu alaikum, while Christians say peace, greetings to you, and in the Jewish traditions you say Shalamu alaikum, and in Hinduism you say Namaste, which is may the God in me recognize the God in you. All of these spiritual connections are all around us, but within the Muslim community itself, there is a lot of conflict. So when we say the Shahada, the faith, the declaration of faith, do we say just what the Quran says? Do we say what the Sunni say, what the Shia say? So there are lots of layers of complexity that we had to go through in order to go through this curriculum. But regardless, I hope that you as a parent and a teacher will get so much from it, and that you also will have come out of it a beautiful understanding of Islam. So let's go through this journey together with your children, with your students, with your partner. Thank you. We will now delve in deeper into the curriculum. First, here's the overview and the questions and answers we will address. This curriculum is made up of 10 units broken into 4 lessons, which translates into 10 months with 1 lesson each week. You and your child, children, or students can obviously go through them at your own pace. Unit 1. What is Islam? What is the importance in Islam of ideas of peace and social justice? What is our obligation as Muslims to care for our communities, regardless of people's faith or non-faith? Why and how do we embrace non-Muslims as equals and take care of the environment? Unit 2. What is God or Allah? What is the God in you? How is God closer to you than your jugular vein? What is the purpose of prayer? God versus science? Unit 3. Who is Prophet Muhammad? What was his background? What about his character and his message that still resonates still today? Was he a feminist for his time? Who was the first female imam appointed by the Prophet? What was his covenant with Christians? Unit 4. Who is a Muslim? What does it mean to behave honestly and with good intentions? How and why do we avoid racism, rumors and lies, bullying, and a sense of superiority over others? What is the Ummah? Can it be inclusive of all humanity rather than Muslim only? What are good role models? Unit 5. What is freedom of expression? How does this freedom relate to religion, the arts, music, clothing? What is the importance of critical thinking? How do you express yourself respectfully? Unit 6. Why do we love the environment? What does it mean to respect nature? What can we do to be caretakers of the environment? How do the things we buy affect the environment? Why is it important to have clean air? How does breathing clean air contribute to internal peace? Unit 7. Pluralism. How is each individual special? How did God make us unique? What are examples of uniqueness in gender, sexuality, race, culture, and religion? Unit 8. Equality. What does equality mean? How can we treat each other fairly regardless of gender, sexual identity, race, and faith, or non-faith? What do you do when you see someone not being treated fairly? How do you become a peacemaker? Unit 9. How does using our brains help us become better Muslims? How can we dream big to become better people? What can we learn from Muslims' contributions to science, math, the arts, architecture, and food? Unit 10. How can we make a difference in the world? What does it mean to volunteer for social justice in Islam? How can we be responsible citizens and participate in a democracy? What skills do we need to achieve these goals, such as compassionate listening, honesty, kindness, and positivity? These are complex concepts that we truly believe your child, children, or students can grasp. We are now going to drill down deeper into each unit and its lessons in explaining the foundational concepts, philosophy, and theology from which these lessons are built on. The language in this video is specific to educators and parents. We use much simpler language and concepts in the lessons for students. Each lesson will incorporate interfaith elements where applicable, quotes from the Quran and its supporting hadiths, family activities, arts and crafts, and music. Unit 1 is divided into 4 lessons. What is Islam? We often hear Islam is a religion of peace. Well, what does that mean? How do we attain peace? How do we come to peace? Lesson 2, what is the Quran? We will talk about why the Quran was revealed, how it was revealed, how it was compiled, and what were the social issues for which it was revealed. Lesson 3, the meaning of Rahim. It is such an important word. It is about mercy and kindness. And how do we, as Muslims, and that kindness manifests itself in our identity, and how that identity then affects change in the world in a positive way. Since God is genderless and beyond description, throughout this curriculum, God will be referred to as they, it, the Creator, or simply God. We tried really hard to not assign God as a he or his, as we have seen how that has unjustly manifested itself in our belief system. Children are inquisitive, and we encourage them to ask questions, even hard questions such as, does God exist? When it comes to God and science, we see no contradiction whatsoever. In this lesson, we will inculcate curiosity. In Unit 1, we laid the foundation of the philosophy of Islam, that is, the meaning of peace. In Unit 2, we laid down the inclusive and loving nature of God or Allah. And in Unit 3, we will lay down Prophet Muhammad's characteristics and how he manifested the concept of peace and how he lived out the inclusive worldview of the Quran during his lifetime. We want children to learn about his good character, especially in the way he defends women and minority rights, never discriminating against them even in a society that was brutally unjust. In other words, we will take his good-naturedness, his love for animals and the environment as an example and adapt it with exercise for the times we live in. To follow up on character building, in Unit 4 we will discuss what the word Muslim even means. Does it mean to follow what you are told blindly? Does it mean to pray and recite in Arabic and not even know the meaning? We will discuss issues of bullying, humility, good deeds, and much more that will help shape the child's character. In Unit 5, we will address freedom of expression, which is such an issue in Muslim societies, including in the West. In contradiction to the Quran, the right to think and express freely is heavily curtailed, including on matters of religion, arts, music, or how you dress. On many occasions, the Quran highlights the purpose of humankind given the capacity to think, and to be a Muslim is to think. The philosopher Ibn Taymiyyah has written extensively on reconciling revelation and reasoning. This lesson will encourage critical thinking to express your thoughts responsibly and kindly. The Quran is full of verses about caring for the environment and our responsibility to protect it. We will tie this Unit 6 into learning about environmental issues of the day, our responsibility toward protecting the animal kingdom and Mother Earth. We will also look into how our habits of consumerism contributes to pollution and the destruction of the environment. We will discuss ways to be mindful of what and how much we consume. In Unit 7, we will discuss pluralism in various terms. We will discuss the richness of the Creator, the most creative one, and in the infinite ways we have evidence of God's creativity. All around us, be it in race, language, religions, ability and disabilities, or sexuality, regardless, all of God's creations are equal. Just as Unit 7, we discuss the richness of God's creations, in Unit 8, we will drill down on the meaning of equality. It is important in Islam and as a Muslim. And we will discuss a verse in the Quran that exemplifies why all of us human beings are equal. In Unit 9, we will go back in time and highlight the many positive contributions by Muslims when they use their God-given capacity to think to the fullest. Unit 10. In the beginning of this curriculum, we discussed the reason and context for which the Quran was revealed. Forward 1400 years later, how does it apply to human rights issues of our time? The Quran is full of verses about doing the right thing, to speak up for justice. Justice gives birth to peace. And if Islam is rooted in peace, then justice is the precondition. We hope this video has helped you understand better the spectrum of subject matters we are addressing in this Inclusive Islam curriculum. And here's a brief biography about who we are. Thank you.